Okay, so that's it, you guys. We're saying goodbye to the old house, and we are headed out for a new adventure. And I promise you to find something charming and sweet and homey as this house has been. Now here we are, setting out, getting the Durango loaded up on the back of our RV. We are now in Kentucky. I'm doing this video in narration style from here on out because I've had to do a lot of different things that would not allow me to speak to you guys in this RV. Oh, it is loud. It's a 1989 Allegro, and it's just a good and faithful. We know that it is a good RV, but I did want to just show you a little bit of our drive coming out of the state, you know, and yeah, still just beautiful and green. And jumping ahead, I will tell you that it stayed beautiful and lush and green all the way to Missouri. No, further than that, actually. Just amazing how much that rain and humidity keeps people from having to water, because everything is, you know, routinely gets watered by rain. So my husband is doing all the driving, and that is because, well, first of all, he's the kind of person who likes to do all the driving. Some of us know people like that. Trusts himself better than me, but in his defense, I didn't feel super confident about driving a big rig like this with my knee still kind of in recovery from surgery. So I was just like, yeah, you can do it, my husband and I will let you do it all. So Kentucky looks exactly like Tennessee. If you have seen any of my videos, you will know that we just have the most beautiful countryside here in the South. It looks like perpetual spring all the way up until winter. Cornfields. It's just, I was trying to get in touch with my emotions at this time, and I don't feel sad leaving all of this behind. I can still completely admire it as I leave it. And it's emotional only on one level, and that is that moving and packing was extremely difficult. I packed the entire house by myself. Then look what happened, guys. We were only an hour and a half away from home when the RV just went put and died. Actually, it was still running, but the Good Sam Club sent somebody out for us anyway because we didn't want to run the risk. so they took us out to Stone's Automotive, and I met them. They're wonderful people, and this is what this gal had to tell me when I went in to the place. She told me all about a visit they had by Jay Leno.
My mom and Jay, my sister and Jay Leno, my dad, brother-in-law. My father, Jay, the soldier, and his commanders, and my father and Jay Leno and the soldier, my sister and Jay Leno. And then this is a dear friend of ours and Jay Leno, and those are his cars behind him. This was the classic car setup that we had. The story behind it was the soldier thought he was coming out to look at classic cars, and they actually ended up giving him a Hellcat before the Hellcat was actually on the market to normal consumers. He was a wounded soldier. He, I believe, was 23. And this is the actual guy that got the car right here. And they took him to a restaurant called Knockham Hill Barbecue. He ate with Jay Leno. They test drove the car, and they handed him the keys.
How fortunate for us that we were actually able to stay at Stone's Auto and Truck Repair because they have an RV park. And so here we are, just setting up the RV in the spot that they gave us. They said $25 a night. Not even close. They didn't end up charging us that at all. And so they told us that the part that we needed to fix our car, which was a catalytic converter, if we wanted it to pass inspection, a smog inspection in California, we would need a certain kind of catalytic converter, and that it would take 5 days to get there. So here we are, just passing the time. I'm going to take a walk here. I am facing a huge cornfield, and it goes on forever. I'm just so curious because I've never actually walked in a cornfield. So I wanted to show y'all my perspective going inside just a little bit here. And, we're still here in this, where I am now. I'm still in Kentucky. And so it is very, very humid and buggy, as maybe you can hear in the background. A lot of cicadas and such. So I wanted to go way into the cornfield, but I actually literally felt afraid that I would not find my way back out. These cornfields are so huge that if you lose your sense of direction, I'd have to put out like ribbons on a corn stalk to find my way back or something. I don't know for sure. But, so I just was I'm filming with one hand, so I'm trying to see the corn with opening it with one hand. Okay, so what I noticed was that this corn was they were letting it go to seed, or whatever terminology referring to corn that they're letting dry up. So it's obviously not going to be sold as fresh corn. So it's really just very, very beautiful here at this RV park, and it's off the beaten path. The Stone's Automotive, and for anyone who lives in the area, gosh, it's not far from Clarksville, actually. And if you have an RV, I highly recommend them. They are down-to-earth people who just worked so hard on our RV, and it turns out that our RV actually really didn't have anything seriously wrong with it. It just hadn't really been maintained well in the... For those who are interested, we got a new air filter which was black, and we got a new fuel filter which was gummed up, and then the catalytic converter. And that's all that was wrong with it, but I had to stay here for 5 days and make do somehow. We just... And while we were here, we sold our Dodge Durango and returned the car transport dolly from U-Haul, and got rid of that burden. And our RV had no trouble actually pulling it. That wasn't really the reason. It was just with this kind of thing happening, we felt like, man, let's just unburden, you know. So we did the rest of our travels in just the RV, and that's been good. There's our Durango. My husband's just bringing it up, you know, next to the RV, and he's gonna wash it and clean it for sale. Getting all hooked up, and I'm getting back in the RV. It's been a very stressful day that day. It was. So it just feels good to call it a day. And here's my kitties. They've been hiding extra. And Etta on the other side of the bed. I'm just going, is it safe to come out? They're all right. You guys are just fine. They're slightly traumatized, but they're all right. So now we're going to make some dinner. Turning on my camp stove here inside the RV. I call it a camp stove because as far as gas stoves goes, that's an anemic flame. So all we're going to do is eat vegetables out of cans. And the reason we're doing that is because we found out that all of these things, once you start moving, these are what fell out of the cupboard at us when we stopped and opened the cupboard. It was just like, hello. Projectile vegetable cans, you know. So you can see they got dented, some of them. And I'm just going to try to eat them up because there was just too much in the cupboard. I like to watch my husband's manly hands doing little menial chores. So corn. Let's see, we're gonna pick some spinach here. Figure to try to get our greens while we're on the road, and we're mostly eating inside our RV. As I'm doing this voiceover, I am still living in my RV. It's not bad living in an RV at all, not bad at all, but the only trouble that I have is that everything is a tight space, and I am a big girl. So having only vegetables for dinner can only be good. So my husband stepped out just for a second, and I am going to take a few bites before he sits down. But look at this view. We've got a huge cornfield and those trees. So this is when we decide that we are going to completely mellow out. It's been a harrowing day that day, and so I'm doing my best to help my husband and I both relax and like the day has been going, my first match didn't go. It's like, come on, something go right, please. Yeah. And there's just, I had somebody ask me, why aren't you wearing your nails? I was like, that is like the last thing in the world I'm thinking about in my life right now. But maybe I'll get some on eventually. I am having wine. And my husband is having some brandy. And we are going to just totally relax. Game of Yahtzee. I don't bring the box. All I ever keep is 5 dice and the forms. So, here we are. I have to say that when we were living at home and my husband was working almost full time, and then, maybe he retired, but he was still just busy, and I could not get him to sit down and play a game of Yahtzee with me to save my life. And now that we've been on the road, he's the one who says, game of Yahtzee, game of Yahtzee. And part of it is because I keep beating him so bad, and he wasn't just because I was getting Yahtzees either. But he finally kind of picked up on some of my tricks because I've been playing Yahtzee for a long time. And also to let you know, if any of you are looking at our score sheet and how we're playing, I will tell you that my husband invented a cheat. There is a cheat to this that we play. We play 5 games at a time, and we allow ourselves to fill it out across the board anywhere we want. So, you have 5 games, and let's say I get 4 sixes 3 times in a row. Well, I can fill out 4 sixes anywhere I want across the page on the 6s. So it's cool. And the other cheat is that we do a adding and subtracting of 2 dice. Let's say I roll 3 sixes, and then my last roll is a 4 and a 2. So I have 3 sixes, a 4, and a 2. Well, we count the 4 and the 2 as a 6. Or if I had, so that's the best I can explain it. Add or subtract 2 dice to be the number that you need it to be. And it is so much more fun that way. I'm telling you what, it's not so disappointing. So, this is really mellow. I just really enjoy that. So, as I'm doing this voiceover, we have been trapped in this RV for 5 days waiting for a part. And then, of course, having sold the Durango, we are going absolutely stir crazy. However, we really feel like so many worse things could have happened, and that God is giving us the grace and patience to be together in such close quarters for so many days and not being able to go anywhere or do anything about anything. So, also to let you know that we are not going to Montana to see my children and my great-grandchildren because we found out that our insurance policies, both health and automotive, are forcing us to find a residential address or we are not insured properly. And that's such a bummer because I wanted to see my great-grandchild. So we have to wait until we buy a house, set up a little bit, and then we will be able to go back and visit them. So let me just read along with you what I write on the first night in my journal. Today has been a fiasco. Gosh, and on top of that, it rained too. We were just like, how crazy to break down. On the very first day out, very first day out, nevertheless, I feel like God has been looking out for us. Absolutely. No accidents. That's right. We didn't have any accidents. When you're towing a car, it's pretty scary, you know. The cats are okay. Our poor kitties. They hide in the cupboards. We leave cupboards open that have clothes in them so they can just hide. They feel safe in nooks and crannies, you know. We are safe in this RV park. That's right. I have never heard of an RV repair shop that actually lets you camp there while you wait. Actually, met the guy in the RV next to us, and he said that he had been living there for 8 years. So apparently they have a monthly, it's really sort of a bona fide RV park, but it's not their main business. The part that we need is going to take 5 days to get here. As I already explained to you, that's because it had to adhere to California law, smog inspection. We are both accepting of what is happening. Jerry and I have gotten along so well. It's just amazing. And we think that we will look back on this as providence. Who knows why things happen as they do? Who knows? but we will definitely get some rest. You know, because we just packed and moved and we're tired. I will make a couple of videos. Yeah, that's another whole story. I could only get one video made while I was in this RV for 5 days. This can be fun. After all, we are camping. And that's all for this story, for this video for now. I'll catch you up with more in the next video. So for now, I will say good night to you all. And I'm going to bed. That's what we do next. Put my journal away. Blow out my candle. There we go. Turn out the light and go to bed.